All right, folks, you are live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. We're about to get this party started, y'all. And we do this every Tuesday. Today is on Wednesday, though. Hey, things happen sometimes, folks. Like I do it all the time. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. In the dugout, on the screen. My Batman, my Robin to my Batman. The Kato to the Green Hornet. What up, Dusty One?
Lonzo, my dude, what is good?
And you know what? It's a good day in LA. Shit, what can I tell you?
Yeah, shit. Everything's good on my end too, man. Hope the chat is doing well. Shout out to the whole fam out there. Let's get it going, man. We got a lot to talk about. I guess the first thing I want to pull up, Lonzo, here, fresh off the internet, is Tekashi 6ix9ine. Man, we haven't talked about Tekashi 6ix9ine in quite some time, but apparently Tekashi 6ix9ine's cars have been repossessed by the government due to him failing to pay his taxes. Now, a couple of days ago was tax day, so it's that time of season. 6ix9ine brags and boasts about always carrying around $1 million in his briefcase. He brags and boasts about always wearing $1 million around his neck and jewelry and all that. You know, he has these kids thinking that he's living this glamorous life when in reality, he can't allegedly pay his taxes. But talk about that aspect of hip hop, Lonzo, the smoke and mirrors, the aspect where these rappers have these kids believe in this lifestyle that they don't even live.
Man, most of this shit is straight bullshit. Okay, it is an illusion. It's straight, like you said, straight smoke and mirrors. It's an illusion to get you to try to attain the same things, and in most cases, try and take a shortcut. I see you, OG Steve.
OG Steve.
In a lot of cases, they try to take a shortcut, and I've been listening to this audio book for the last couple of days called The Grift, and I listen to this guy's show all the time, and he had a book called The Grift, and it talks about how a lot of people try to sell out. Well, they try to sell out so they can buy in. Okay, and bottom line is, it's basic. Well, his book is basically about politics, but when you see the common narrative that is projected in hip hop, everybody that rap got a shitload of money. Everybody in rap got a shitload of money, so everybody want to be a rapper. Well, guess what? A lot of rappers don't have a shitload of money, and just because you rap don't mean you're gonna get one. And it's to say, and I said this before, they set up a false narrative when it comes to how to be successful in anything. They show people with a bunch of money, all this jewelry, this in cars, and a lot of that shit is rented. Most of that stuff is rented. Okay, most of it is borrowed. The money, you can buy fake money by the millions. It don't cost that much money. Buy it by the pounds, baby. It look good. They call it movie money. Okay, I've seen briefcases full of it. I was in a movie not long ago, and they had a briefcase full of it. And according to you can put your camera on there for a minute, and it's gonna look like real money. Flip it over and see what happened. Flip it over and see what happened. This is fake money, okay?
For entertainment purposes only.
Right, and then the same thing with the jewelry. They got so much jewelry out here, man. It looks good, and some of it would even pass a diamond test. But again, that's all to give you the illusion that I'm doing better than you. And it creates a competition. It creates a social competition that is just false. And then you got women, and I'm watching a lot of these brothers on Instagram and Facebook. They got these gold digger videos, and you got women with 3-4 kids, and because she's cute, somebody supposed to take care of her and her kids. Why gotta do that? So you got all these different narratives that are just a straight facade of success. And I knew he didn't have that kind of money because he never had a record worth a damn. He had a couple of silly ass records, but your money don't last that long, dude. It don't last that long, especially when you've had hit records before. I understand the game. I still get paid for some of my stuff, but I can't go out and floss like that. I got me a nice little mild car. I live in a regular ass house. It's nice size with a studio, but you can't sustain that, and that's where the problem comes in at. You can get it, but can you keep it? That's the trick. Can you keep it? I remember back in the day when folks was buying the record business was good. Folks get record deals and buy these fancy cars, Go get a BMW tune-up. See what what they tell your ass. Go get
600, 700.
Huh?
Lot of money.
Go try and get you a BMW tune-up. Make you trade that something gun in real quick, okay? And you holler about Bentleys and Bugattis. Yeah, okay, fine. You may drive it off the lot, but as soon as they tell you need a brake job or an oil change, your whole attitude, what? You can't take that thing down a Jiffy Lube and get a oil change. It don't work like that. So all that driving and all that looking good, can you keep it looking good? And that's what I was always taught. Find you a lane and stay in it. That way, if you broke, nobody know if you broke. And if you balling, nobody know if you balling. That's just how you roll. And you ain't never seen me. I've done what, 300-400 shows. You ain't never seen me floss, talk about no money. That ain't what I do. But again, I ain't doing my show from a box either. I ain't doing it from the moon, but I'm doing it. And that's all that matters.
Yep. Talk to these kids, Lonzo, about, especially the young ones listening, about the importance of paying your taxes and keeping up good graces with the IRS. I was in IRS trouble 12, 14 years ago, something like that. I never want to be in that kind of trouble again. We are in good graces. Shout out to the IRS. Those are the homies, man. I love you guys. We good now. But talk to these kids, man, how it could mess your life up, dog.
I have played with the IRS, okay? And they don't play. They ain't nothing funny. I messed around that one time, and one of my vendors sent me a 1099 late, and I didn't file it on my taxes, and the IRS caught it. And man, they called me in for an audit, talking about a stressful time in my life. And here's the cold part about it. Here's the true story. Cold part about it. Me and my partner found all the receipts, went to all my books, to all my checks, put a whole package together. Took us 3 weeks of stressing, putting together the package for the IRS. And when I got to the IRS appointment, they never looked at it. She told me, Mr. Williams, you owe us, we estimate you owe us $10,000. And I tell you what we're going to do. I'm not going to look at what you brought with you today. I'm not going to look at it. Because if I look at it, we're going to be here all day long. Okay? Now, you know you owe us. We know you owe us. I know you ain't rich, but you got to pay us. I'm going to go to my boss. I'm going to come up with a number. I come back. I'm going to give you that number. And I'm going to give you that number and a payment plan for the number. Okay? Now, if you want to fight it, you can. But if you accept it, we'll be through in 30 minutes or less. She came back. She went to her boss, came back with a number. While she was gone, I told my boy, I said, man, I tell you what, anything under 4,500, we out of here. And she came back with 42. I'm like, shit, we out of here. Let's go. How much? Yeah, I'm going to start paying you today. Here go your first check right now. Nah, man, leave that alone, dude. Especially when you flossing like that. And I never understood. Dude, IRS is a middle-class job. Okay? It might make 70, 80,000, depending on what level you are in the agency. So if you got some ignorant kid out here flossing his millions, you put a target on your back. Now, even if your millions is phony, you put a target on your back. And not saying they're gonna come after you because you flossed the money, but if your name happened to come across their desk, okay, and you out here flossing and living large and doing all this big, all right, show me what you're working with. And in most cases, you can't show them what you're working with. In most cases, you can't show them. And that's where the problem comes. They do what they call an estimated tax. Now, that's when the shit starts. Because they think based on what you're showing them, this is what you should be paying. And you got to prove to them that you don't. In fact, the average person, based on your income tax, you pay an estimated tax every time you get a paycheck. That's why you get a return at the end of the year. They figured because you got X amount of kids, you do this, make this amount of money, you need to give us this amount of money every check. And end of the year, we overestimated your estimated tax bill, and we're gonna give you back a refund. They ain't giving you a gift. That's your money. But that's how the game go. And most folks don't understand that.
Yeah. Talk to these kids also, Lonzo. Something that's also easy to mess up that can also ruin your life and prevent you from buying a home, buying a car, hell, buying a cell phone. But the importance of keeping your credit good. You know what I mean? Talk to these kids about that too, man.
I just walked out of my house talking to my son. He just got a job.
You're looking out, Marlon.
Marlon, much love to you, Doc. I just left out the house right before I sat down in my chair and was talking to my son. My son got a new job working at T-Mobile. He's a salesman at T-Mobile. And then they got these special accounts. You can get 5, 6, 7 phones on there at one time, blah, blah, blah. And it may not seem like a lot of money right now, but when you got 4, 5, 6, 7 phones on your bill, and it may not be, but I don't know, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever the case may be, and you are the main person on that account, that bill come due, them other folks, they ain't gonna find them. Because actually how I know, okay? So I told them, first thing you do, if somebody asks you to co-sign, understand this. If somebody asks you to co-sign, that means they messed up their credit some way, form, or fashion in most cases. Not all, but most cases. Which means if they'll mess up their credit, why would they mess up yours? They don't respect credit, okay? They don't respect it. So why would they not mess up yours? And the last thing you want to do is be responsible for somebody else's situation. I did that for a very popular, very rich rapper now, and it cost me. It was a nightmare because they ran out of money, and I had to cover it until I couldn't no more. Then meanwhile, both of our credit was ruined until they paid it off, and that's what yeah. Okay, I'm looking at they didn't fact check me on my
Yeah, unfortunately I don't think he knows what he's talking about. Maybe 1% of the IRS workers make what this dude's talking about, but my day job also revolves around knowing salaries, and I know you're correct, Lonzo. These guys are making between 50, 100 tops if they're lucky.
If they're a manager, yeah. They some of them make money, but everybody don't. But again, if it was all that, people would be talking about, becoming IRS agents. What I'm hearing, as you know, I'm president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, and I'm being the president of that organization. I'm find myself in all kind of rooms, all kind of meetings, and as I listen, it seems to me that there are a lot of jobs going unfilled. Everybody's shorthanded. From the police department to City Hall, and a lot of these places make some decent money, but they say that most people can't pass the background check, felonies, drugs, whatever the case may be, and that's something I think is just as important as taking care of your taxes and your credit. Is keeping your ass out of trouble, because that shit will haunt you a felony. Will haunt you for the rest of your life. Will literally haunt you. I know brothers that were teaching school, got caught up and on some small weed drug situations, and they got to do something else now. You can't do it no more. And it's just amazing. It's amazing that some of the things like a drug case, I don't know, a drug case can stop you from being a teacher. Now, I understand if you rob the bank, you can't be an accountant, or you can't work at the bank. I understand that. But some things that people prohibit you from doing with a felony don't really make sense. I'm one of the things I'm trying to work with Compton right now, and is to find out if Compton is a felony-friendly city. Because we need workers. Fixing potholes has nothing to do with a felony. And I know Caltrans, you can have a felony all day long. As long as you didn't kill nobody with a Caltrans vehicle, you pretty much go get a job. And that's how you get redemption in the community. So we have to look at some of these things that are holding people back in the community, like felonies. And like I said before, I know folks that had a job, went to jail, went back to the job, working for Caltrans. No bullshit.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat, and definitely, just all these kids out there listening, don't mess with your credit. Don't mess with the IRS. They are relentless. But let's move on, Lonzo. I want to talk about probably the biggest story this week. We lost O.J. Simpson. Now let's talk about OJ, man. Let's go back all the way before the controversy and everything, because I only knew him from the Naked Gun movies and the Hertz commercials, jumping over suitcases and shit. I didn't follow him when he was a football player, one of the greatest in football history. Talk to me about what you remember about the Juice back in his football days.
Man, the Juice was like the super Negro, man. He did everything. He's my sister's age. He died, he was 74, 73, 74. So he's a little older than me. But it was his impact on the world showed people that brother had a chance to cross over. Okay. He was that dude. And he was with all the folks that folks wasn't with, put it that way. He was with everybody that nobody was with. He had a career that was so unique, especially when he started doing the commercials for Hertz. That was just the shit, man. That was just the shit. He played for Buffalo most of the career, which wasn't all that great. But he made it in Hollywood. He was one of the first few guys, him and Jim Brown and a few other guys, they were able to transition into movies. And like you said, he was a part of the Naked Gun series, which was some of the dumbest shit back in the day, but it was funny as heck. But it was, you couldn't do them. You can't do them no more now. You can't. They wouldn't let them fly no more.
That type of comedy ain't flying, man.
It's still funny today, but you'd have people out protesting like it's some bitch. Hey, y'all doing too much. But yeah, he was the shit back in the day, man. And when he got caught up, nobody wanted to believe that he did that. When he got caught up with the situation, and for him to beat the case was a major movement for black folks in general. Whether he was guilty or not, he won. And the debate still lingers. And depending on who you ask, he did it. Some depending on who you ask, he couldn't have done it. And it's one of them things that we'll never know now for sure.
Let's go back to that time, Lonzo. I remember I was with my girlfriend. We were watching the NBA Finals. The Knicks were playing, and then they cut into this slow speed chase on the freeway. White Bronco that OJ is allegedly in. Not allegedly, he was in the back. AC Alec Collins was driving. What do you remember about that day? What were you doing? How did you feel? Talk to me about that specific day.
Man, I did not take my eyes off the TV all day long. I watched the trial every day. I've always worked in my house, work from home. So to have a TV somewhere nearby my office or my desk was a regular occurrence. And I got TVs everywhere. I got TVs all over my house right now. And I'm sitting in there and I'm watching the trial in the morning. I'm watching the glove situation. And before they arrested him, that was the one thing that made me suspicious. But because he did such a slow speed chase, he wasn't like he was trying to get away, like he wanted some attention. He knew they was coming to get him, but he wanted some attention. He wanted to do it his way. And that right there was one of those things that if he had really done it, he was OJ. He could have got out of here that night, okay? According to, I think if I'm mistaken, he was in Chicago that night anyway, came back because the situation happened. He could have kept on going. So, the whole thing, man, it was a victory for black folks in general. OJ won, Johnny won. Johnny beat everybody. Johnny beat everybody, man. Dude, that was a major legal accomplishment when Johnny Cochran beat the whole LA DA team. Him, Shapiro, and the other dude. I can't think of his name.
Chris Darton, Marsha Clark.
No, on Johnny's side, it was F. Lee Bailey.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Kardashian daddy and OJ.
Okay.
Yeah, Corey's daddy. Corey's daddy, I should say. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, all right. So take me back to the trial, man. I remember I wasn't following it. I was in high school, so my mind was way more preoccupied with vagina at that time. I think this was right around the time I discovered it. And I just remember, obviously it was a big story. And I remember our teacher wheeling in the TV, back in the day, they wheeled in a TV on a crate with the VCR. Yeah. So they wheeled it in. The teacher wheeled it in and Yeah, teacher willed it in and, put the trial on him. We watched it and we watched them saying not guilty. And I remember my teacher putting her head down, and so that's all I remember. I just remember I want to see what the adult in the room thinks. I remember the adult putting her head down. But what do you remember about that trial? Because it was, if I'm not mistaken, the first trial that was ever publicized, the entire trial, correct?
Televised
on court TV. Yeah, televised. What do you remember about that trial? All the shenanigans, the glove don't fit, like all of that. What do you remember about all that?
Every day after the court ended, they had TV, they had the TV reporters, and then they had the public street reporters. You couldn't go to the barber shop, you couldn't go to the beauty shop, you couldn't go that whole situation was talk of the town the entire trial. You would have debates in the line. You'd be pulling for Johnny, pulling for OJ, and people trying to compare, see what's happening, different theories. It was just a very festive time, Doc. To be honest with you, it was very festive.
Okay, and shortly after, OJ gets off. Everybody, things are kind of back to normal, and then fast forward, he gets into this situation in Las Vegas where some guys were selling his stuff. What did you think about OJ back then, man? Because I was like, come on, OJ.
You dumb son of a bitch. Why would you do some shit like that? First of all, you ain't no gangster. You big ass son of a gun. You ain't no gangster. Okay, you got them bad knees, big ass head, walking like a goddamn weeble, and you out there trying to play gangster for some old shit. I mean, I understand it's yours, but dude, anytime a gun is involved, everything gets changed. Somebody going to jail. When a gun is involved, somebody's going to jail. And they wanted you anyway? Come on, man. You was when I heard you got arrested for that, he going to jail. You got away one time, dude. Why would you play that game again? That just made your doubters, people with suspicions from the first case, even more suspicious. Then you write a book, If I Did Do It. Come on, stupid motherfucker. Dude, what are you doing? Are you just throwing rocks at the penitentiary? I'm trying to get me a room at San Quentin. I need me a room at Folsom. I need me a room someplace with some bars behind it. Why would you throw rocks at the penitentiary? Make reservations, and you got away. And this dude, he gets $25,000 a month. They can't touch Goldman's can't touch the money, man. He get $25,000 a month from his pension. For whatever reason, they can't touch it. Okay. He has some money set aside. I guess they put it in a trust or something, and whatever it is, they can't touch it. And that's what they pissed off about right now. They're trying to figure out, now that he's gone, can they attach the trust?
Isaiah wants to know, Dusty and Uncle Zoe, what's y'all theory on who did it? If I was a bet man and I only had two choices, gun to my head, I'd say he knew somebody who did it or he was involved. That's just me. What do you say, Lonzo?
He know who did it. Okay. Rumor has it, people thought it might have been his son, allegedly. Okay. He know who did it, and whoever did it got close to him, and he wasn't going to tell on him. Okay.
General consensus right there. That's the general consensus, I think. Let's keep it pushing, Lonzo. R.I.P. to the Juice. I mean, unfortunately, the last part of his life was some BS, but he did give us a lot of laughs and a lot of entertainment. Something else I wanted to talk with you about, Lonzo. We've discussed Keefe D. Keefe D was the guy who is in prison right now because he just couldn't keep his mouth closed about the Tupac situation. He was allegedly the person behind the trigger or in the car at the time. And as we all know, there is no, what's the word I'm looking for with murder? There's no statute of limitations. Thank you. So, he's on live TV. He's on all these platforms just talking and talking and talking. But Tupac murder suspect Keefe D is left high and dry despite past generosity to former gang allies. That's the title of this article. They're saying that he can't come up with $80,000 needed, which is 10% of his bail. You guys do the math, 80 times 10, and that no one is helping him out, even though he allegedly made the ultimate sacrifice and took another man, Tupac's life. Comment on that, Lonzo, specifically, and talk to these kids out there who think their homies are going to be there for them when they get locked up. My ride or die, that's my dog. He's always going to be there for me, man.
STUPID. Stupid. Okay? Stupid. when you start, anybody that starts passing him money is going to find themselves on the list of potential for potential investigation. Think about that. When you start bailing people out of jail, folks want to know who it is. Are they a relative? Especially if you ain't related to them. Why are you getting them out of jail? Where you get the money from? All that becomes a factor, Doc. If you ever seen Jackie Brown, when Samuel L. Jackson goes to get Smokey, what Smokey? He wasn't Smokey that time. Chris Tucker out of jail first time. He went in there with cash. Okay, he went to a bail bombing because he didn't want to be asking a bunch of questions. Okay, so first of all, you don't. It ain't just the cash. You got to have something of value to put up for the other 90%. All right, they're not gonna let you walk out of jail for 10% without having secured the other 90%. The bond is just the bond is something that makes you committed to them. All right, now the 10% of that bond, the 10% you don't get that back. Yeah, no, you don't. Do you get that back? Hold on. Do you get the 10%? No, you don't get the 10%
That's
back.
A good question. I don't think you do. No,
that's money gone. Now you get the 90%. The release on the property goes away. I have bailed people out before. Small shit, $10,000 bail. Come up with $1,000. He had the $1,000. I had to put the house up. When he got out of jail, they freed the lien on my house, but the $1,000 was gone. But when I went to jail, I bailed myself. I funded my partner the money to get me out, and the money was just money gone. If I'd have stayed in jail another 2 or 3 hours, I wouldn't have had to post bail, but I didn't want to stay. I'm a buster like that. I don't want to get used to this shit. So So if somebody got $80,000 to give away, that's the whole thing. Who got $80,000 to give away? Who put you? Where were they at all this time? When you did your crime, what you do with all that money? And that's the part that most criminals are very disrespectful. When you commit a crime and you get away with it, or if you plan on getting away with it and don't get away with it, did you plan on giving me some money? But when your ass got caught, you're the first one to call. Okay. Now I know guys that have done shit, got away with it, spent the money, and when they got caught, they called everybody around. Now you spent all the money, you ain't gave nobody nothing to hold for you. You might take them to the club or something like that. Okay, fine. But now the rubber hit the road, and all of a sudden you need to get a shitload of money. You ain't got it, and ain't nobody gonna give it to you because it don't make no sense. It almost don't make no sense. Why am I getting involved in this at this point when you did not include me in you didn't, hey man, hold this for me. But most cats do. If you're smart, hold this for me. Somebody that's responsible, grandma, auntie, uncle, so-and-so, put this away for me in case I get caught up. Dudes don't do that. They spend all the money, and then when they have all the fun and something happens, somebody snitch, all of a sudden, I need X amount of dollars, you ain't got it. And if you're going to do a crime and your folks ain't got no money, think about this. If you do a crime and get caught up, who could afford to bail you out? Let's say, who got $5,000? You bail $50,000. Who got $5,000 in a house? Got to have both of them. If mama living in an apartment building, you probably ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, when I was younger, I can't name one person. Now I can name a few, but when I was younger, I can name one motherfucker. If
your bail $100,000, you need $10,000. Who you know that love you enough, put up their property, because if you decide to run, that house goes to the bail bond, and they need 10 grand cash, Think about it, folks. This is why they passed a law to cancel the bail policy, because so many people was getting caught up, and the judge would just throw a bail on your ass just to keep you from leaving, make you responsible coming back to court. But if you ain't got nobody with no money or no property, you can't make bail, which means you can't go home. You're gonna lose your apartment, your job, your car. You come out, you're gonna be homeless. Oh, DA reject. You already ruined. Your life is already ruined. Somebody else boning your girl, your car gone, your house gone. You got to pull up, get you a box next to somebody else. Come on, man. And that's one reason why they stopped the whole bail system in California. That's one of the reasons why they stopped doing it, because too many people was losing everything based on a bunch of trumped up charges. And when you go get your bail hearing, they ain't proved nothing. They just said you did it. They ain't proved. That's not a trial. Anybody said, "Hey, man, I wasn't even there." Nope. What do you plead? Not guilty. Guilty. Okay, fine. Bail is set at X amount of dollars based on the crime. Well, I didn't do nothing. Well, come back in 3-4 months when we got time to start the trial. Dude, you won't have shit when you come out. That's real talk.
Marlon has the best response to this ever. Marlon Cozy says, "I couldn't afford to get in trouble."
Dude, 2 things you can't afford to do: get in trouble and get sick. If you get sick, you're in trouble. If you get sick, you're in trouble.
That is so true, Lonzo. That's the messed up part.
Dude, that's why I run, I walk. I had to go. My cousin around the corner from me. I had to borrow one of his tools. I walked my ass around the corner and go picked it up and brought it back home, man. Nah, man, there's some shit you just got to do for yourself, and just, try and keep your ass out of jail, not the hospital. If you can manage, if you can walk that thin line and stay out of jail and the hospital, you got action.
Yeah, I pray that for everybody, man. That is about as real as it gets, Lonzo. We're about halfway through the show, so let me remind everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already. Please do hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear, and this is your first time tuning in. You are tuned in to N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo. I am Dusty Vision. That is the godfather of West Coast hip-hop, Lonzo Williams. Hope you guys enjoy the content. And we are going to end around 6:57 tonight because I have something I have to do at 7 o'clock right on the dot. But let's keep it pushing, Lonzo. I would love your thoughts on this. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting that stupid echo. Anything you want to say when hopefully this echo disappears for 30 seconds or so?
Nah, man, I just try to do your best, man, to stay out of the hospital, stay out of jail, dude.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it pushing. Earlier we talked about rappers portraying a certain image. I'm listening to this book titled Original Gangsters. It was written by Ben Westhoff.
Okay. And
Ben you're in this book as well, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. But I want your thoughts on this specifically. Ben Westhoff says that at times EAZY E had apple juice in his 40 ounce. Hold on 1 second. Let me play this. My bad. Hold on 1 second. Let me take it off of mute. Take that back.
Neither EAZY nor Ice Cube actually drank at the time. Sir Jinx said when EAZY toted a 40 ouncer during performances, it would actually be filled with apple juice.
That's it. 10-second clip that caught my ear, Alonzo. Did you ever hear anything about that? Do you put that past EAZY? Do you think that's the case?
Yeah. Dude, nobody around here drank back in it. Nobody drank nothing. Again, when you know all the players before they put on the jerseys, you see them backstage getting dressed, you know what all their pitfalls, all their weaknesses, and to see this, and like I said before, I'm sitting on the sideline watching. Y'all got a whole bunch of people convinced. I can't get mad at you. Who am I to pull the curtain? But that he was never a drinker. I didn't know. He didn't start smoking weed until man. I never seen EAZY smoke a joint, tell you the truth. He started smoking much later, dude. Much later. Nobody, like I said, Dre, there's videos of Dre drinking orange juice by the half gallon. Okay? There's a few videos like that. At the studio over at Audio Achievements, drinking orange juice by the half gallon. Yellow don't drink. I never known Rain to do nothing like that. So for him to have apple juice in a 40-ounce bottle, 50 Cent did the same thing. 50 Cent endorses a liquor. He got apple. He got sparkling water, sparkling cider in the damn thing. He said that in his own book. He said, I don't drink. He got an endorsement deal for a champagne or something like that. And in the bottle, when he goes to a party, he got a special bottle and it's filled with sparkling cider. That's it.
There you go. And did you know, Lonzo, one of the biggest proponents, one of the biggest advocates of drugs, Percocets, lean, ecstasy, Molly, all that is Future. And apparently Future doesn't even do any of that. When he has a cup on stage, Lonzo, it's full of Kool-Aid or something like that. It's not even full of what he is actually promoting.
So when all this goes back to what we talked about earlier, Doc. All this, they sell you a bill of goods that they don't even buy themselves. It's a part of whoever is behind the machine. They know that when artists do certain things, people who follow the artists will tend to follow in their footsteps. It's just human nature. Human nature. We should have got. We all should have got condom deals back in the day. Shit.
Vista Light said the old rock bands would fill Jack Daniels bottles with iced tea. Damn, I'm learning some new stuff. That makes sense. It's all an image, man.
It's all an image. The carefree, give a damn. Dude, you can't drink that much all the time and function. You can't do that. And for a person who used to drink before, I would take a shot of tequila and a shot of and a half of Corona. That was my drink before I walked on stage, just to calm my nerves. Shot of tequila and a couple of swigs of a Corona. And most of the Corona was sit there on stage. Because when you walk in front of a stage full of, 10, 15,000 people, dude, your nerves do something different. You got to have something to keep you calm down, keep you calm. And that was my go-to thing. I never forget. We was about to hit the stage. I took my shot, and I was cool. Then they said, "Oh, we're gonna put this band on first. Y'all going next." And the band was on by 10, 15, 20 minutes. I was feeling pretty good, but I was still a little nervous. And I took me another shot and another shot of Hennessy. I'm on stage drunk on a motherfucker. I didn't remember shit. Okay, and that's when I realized that's not for me. But yeah, Doc, it's a whole. Dude, this whole game has been a facade, man. And, again, you're selling it to kids. And it's easy to sell kids shit because they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. No offense, not saying nobody's stupid, but if you never were taught that certain things are BS, you'll think everything is real. Nobody ever bothered to vet anybody. Nobody knows how to vet anybody. So when somebody says he's a gangster, you believe him because that's what he said on the record. Okay, he said on the record he's a gangster. You ain't checked his school records, you ain't checked his police records. I think the only person in N.W.A got a police record was Dre. And that wasn't for nothing but driving reckless, I believe. I know Yellow don't have no record. EAZY didn't have one. I looked before I did EAZY Street. I looked him up. No police record, no record whatsoever. Nothing that would make him seem like a gangster. He had a couple of warrants, but that might have been his son. Nothing on Ren, nothing on Q. So where the gangster come in at? Where the imagery? It's more of an image. And again, if you have enough sense, enough wherewithal to present that image and that fall victim to it, you're winning. You're winning. Everybody else loses though. If female artists can convince females that being a stripper or a prostitute is a means to success, guess what happens? A lot of women will start prostituting and stripping as on the way to under the illusion I'm gonna be successful like so and so. I'm gonna be just like so and so, and it's been like that since hip hop started, dude. Nobody wants to divert from their original imagery. Wreckin Cru, when we first doing our thing, we didn't have a lot of imagery. All we had was Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, Soul Sonic Force. That was pretty much all we had. Okay? I'm not wearing a spacesuit and I don't do feathers. So we had to come up with our own shit. We started wearing the sequins and the Jerry curls. That was West Coast shit for us. Grandmaster
Yeah.
Flash and Furious 5 had on Indian costumes and moccasins, and they never got clowned for that shit. I still get clowned for Jerry curl. I ain't had no hair. I still get clowned today for my Jerry curl, and I have not had hair since 1994. Okay, but because that Jerry curl was such a part of the fabric of the West Coast, and I had one, I'll never live it down. But again, there were different things that other people did that, like, no, I'm not wearing no space shit. I'm not looking like that much the Flash and the Furious 5. I'm damn sure you're looking like African Bambaataa. That shit was weird to us. They looking like George Clinton. We wasn't going for that shit. Nah, ain't what we do. That was too far out. But nowadays, folks just want to do whatever is successful, whether it's dreads, braids, tattoos, face tattoos, gold teeth, whatever the case may be. Nigga, I'm gonna do it because somebody else did it. And
looking out, Rashad.
Good, much love, Rashad.
See, Rashad says, what up, Lonzo and Dusty? Dusty, these Saturday shows been great. Everybody tune in these great stories. Dusty, please do Ice Cube or Cypress Hill next. I sure will. My Saturday shows that seem to be popping lately. I appreciate you. We do a live every Saturday where I just discuss a topic or I discuss my favorite artist or something like that. I play clips and people seem to really like that. So make sure you tune into my channel for more. But Lonzo, there's something else. And hey, guys, keep those comments coming and those questions. I'm copying and pasting everything in the last 10 minutes or so. We're going to get to your questions as we normally do. But I have one more clip I want to play for you, Lonzo. This one is a little bit longer. It's about a minute. Oh, it's not even a minute long. But this is where you're mentioned. And to me, everything sounds pretty legit. But let's listen to this, 53-second clip, and then you tell me where to stop it, if something sounds a little off, or if there's something you want to elaborate on or correct. But I think everything might be legit in this. And once again, this is the book Original Gangsters by, Bill, I had his name right here, Bill Zumba. I'll give it to you guys later. I'll post it in the comments. But here we go, Lonzo.
Neither EAZY nor Ice Cube actually drank at the time.
Oops, hold on, wrong clip.
Sir Jinx said when EAZY toted a 40-ouncer during performances, it would actually be filled with apple juice.
Here we go.
He and EAZY decided to go into business together, and they soon met.
Let me stop it. This is about Jerry and EAZY meeting. So this is his recollection or what he's gathered the information of Jerry and EAZY E meeting.
He and EAZY decided to go into business together, and they soon met at Cahuenga Boulevard restaurant, Martoni's. Also there were Heller's partner, Maury Alexander, and the other Macola artists they were working with, including Rodney O and Joe Cooley, Rudy Pardee, Russ Parr, the Unknown DJ, Alonzo Williams, Arabian Prince, and Egyptian Lover. There was friction about Heller's increasingly close ties.
Go for it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. We finish that. Go ahead. Finish that.
Okay, keep going. All right, here we go. Keep going.
There was friction about Heller's increasingly close ties to EAZY, whose core style was disliked by some of his other clients. According to Heller's account of the evening, he announced he'd thrown his lot in with EAZY's upstart label, and that anyone who didn't join him there would need new representation. Alonzo Williams, however, said just the opposite, that artists, including Pardee and Unknown DJ, gave Heller the ultimatum. It's either us or EAZY. Whatever the case, Heller and many of his artists parted ways. Heller's decision to team up with EAZY was hastily made. Heller said EAZY offered him 50% of Ruthless, but he insisted on taking only a 20% fee. Arabian Prince decided to join the Ruthless crew, but he soon grew skeptical about Heller's proposed arrangement. For one thing, you didn't want your manager and your label's manager to be the same person.
3 seconds.
When it's time to negotiate, after all, you need someone looking out for your interests and your interests only.
Right.
Such an arrangement is not particularly unusual in hip-hop, but it is also not ethical.
All right, that's the full clip, Lonzo. Talk to me.
Martoni's was a spot we always met at. It was off of Cahuenga, like he said. Rodney O wasn't there. Atrid, it was me, Rudy, Lisa, Egypt, Unknown. We were the powerhouses of West Coast hip hop at that time. We had formed our own distribution company, West Coast Record Distributors, We distributed our offices on 54th and Western. We had the old Good Fred offices. We made the ultimatum. Jerry was trying to convince us to stay with him. He was trying his best to convince us that EAZY wasn't there. Maury wasn't there. It was just Jerry and us, and Lisa spoke for Egyptian Empire because Egypt was one of the first ones to work with Jerry Heller. Maury represented the Dream Team. I had just signed to Jerry Heller right after we had our CBS deal, so I still had another year or so on my contract with him. Unknown didn't like him from the jump street. Unknown, they never liked him. So we all sitting back there in Martoni's, and Jerry is trying to convince us by us being under his representation that would give him a lot of power, give us more gigs, blah, blah, blah. But we weren't checking for the whole bitches and hoes thing, Doc. We all Gen Xers, man. It's just some shit we wasn't gonna fly with. And even so Jerry played. He flipped it in his book to say that he did all. He gave us an ultimatum, and far as him being 50% owner, EAZY offering 50%, that was not true because the original plan for Ruthless was everybody was going to be a partner. It was supposed to be a partnership between Dre, EAZY, Yella, Arabian, and Cube. That was my understanding. They sit there and cut that deal in my house. The reason why Arabian was involved because Arabian was the only one that had any equipment. Yella came with Dre from Wreckin Cru. EAZY had the money. Yella and Dre was doing production. So was Arabian Prince, but they knew that Arabian had the equipment and Yella and Dre could work his equipment. And that's how they formed their initial situation. Plus Cube did all the lyrics. That was the initial team. Jerry, when he became part owner in Ruthless, I can't say because I wasn't around at that time. But I can say at one point in time he was the manager. But when he died, when he died, at some point he sued him and got a shitload of money for being part owner. That part I wasn't around for that, and might have came much later. Because it was not a situation where we had our chest stuck out. I got turned off the lights. Rudy got the Dream Team record.
Rumors.
No. That was
LA Dream Team. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, LA Dream Team. Time and Social Club, they'd been gone. They came and got their buddy out of Macola and left. They had been gone. So Macola he was falling off. Everybody was leaving. We had formed our own distribution company, and we didn't need him. We were our own shit. They wouldn't even sign the roof. I don't even think they were even signed to Priority yet. They hadn't had no hit. They hadn't had no major success yet. They had not had any major success, and that's why we could talk shit because they hadn't proven themselves yet. Why would I want to stop being who I am to join your team when your team ain't got a uniform yet? It made no sense. So that's the part. This is why I'm glad I'm here to do this podcast because this is the kind of bullshit that will become. I will find myself arguing about later on. Well, Jerry's no. Use common sense. Ruthless did not have a hit record yet. We sold them, the four of us, Rudy, Rudy from Dream Team Records, Unknown, myself, and Rudy in Egypt formed West Coast Record Distributors. We're the ones that broke JJ Fast Supersonic. Rudy sold Supersonic to Rufus. That was their first big hit. Everything else was not a big hit. Their first major hit, gold record, was not anything else but Supersonic. Later on, Macola re-released the album with them all sitting on the Jeep. He turned that into an album with some Feeling Fresh crew tracks, and because that was only an EP. Macola added some more tracks. He bought some tracks from Dr. Rock, which featured DOC on there, and turned it into an album. And that shit did real well. But I think he got sued from Priority, and the project ended over at Priority or something to that effect. But again, when we had this meeting in Martoni's,
It was all about us. It wasn't about EAZY. EAZY had not established himself as an artist. Ruthless was not an established label yet, so it made no sense for us to be a part of that. We the ones that got the hits.
Man, there it is, dude. Got to come here for real West Coast hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got about 8 more minutes before I have to check out, Lonzo, or before we have to call it a night. Let's jump into some questions from the audience. Some of these you've already answered, but Ben Making Bands TV, looks like that's a new viewer. Thank you for joining the show. He says, you dealt with Stan the Guitar Man. We've talked about him, but break down Stan the Guitar Man.
I grew up with Stan the Guitar Man, literally. We grew up on I grew up on the same block. This is how old I am. When Stan got his first guitar, I was at the house. My dad had a lawn cutting service. Stan and his brother got the bass, Stan got the guitar. They couldn't play dead if you killed them. Okay, they in the garage. I'm cutting their lawns, listening to them fuck up some notes. Okay. Later on, Stan became the shit. He learned guitar. His brother played bass pretty good too, but Stan was the one that got into it. He got involved with the L.A. and some more players, and they started making music around the neighborhood. Stan lived 3 blocks from Eve After Dark, literally. L.A. lived 3 blocks from Eve After Dark. They're all from the same neighborhood. We're all from the same neighborhood. So this is something that people have to, if my neighborhood, Dre's auntie, Stan the Guitar Man, L.A. Dre, me, all of us lived in it was like Motown down there. And Eve After Dark was the centerfold. It wasn't Motown, it wasn't the house, it was Eve After Dark was the center. Joel used to come to Eve After Dark and win contests every weekend. Anytime I had a singing contest, Joel come up there and win a quick $50 and go home. Literally. She would win a quick $50 and go home. So this is how shit was developing out of Eve After Dark. And when Dre started making records, started making music, because shit, everybody had either played downstairs at Jeffy's, or I went to school with them. So when I was doing certain things, everybody would come by the club. That was part of the vibe. And I think Stan, I think he didn't play for anything on any of our songs, but he was recommended because he was one of the few guys that from the neighborhood that can play a guitar. That's real shit.
There you go, man. Art Chavez says, Lonzo, how long was the West Coast distribution in business for?
We might have been in business maybe just shy of 2 years, man. One thing, and this is something I can attest to. One thing, when you got a bunch of money and a bunch of youngsters, this is why it never happened again. You got a bunch of money, bunch of youngsters. I was 30. I might have been 28, 29, 30. I just bought my house when I was about 29. Everybody got money. Everybody got hit records. Everybody got an ego like a motherfucker. Everybody's ego is big. Heads is big. Nobody can't tell nobody shit. We grossed $1 million the first year. Okay, grossed $1 million. Rodney O's album was why we grossed $1 million. Rodney O's album and JJ Fad were the 2 big sellers for West Coast. Right behind that was the Compton compilation. All right. Egypt had some of his catalog over there. I had some of my old catalog over there. So we were very successful very fast because we already had name recognition with all the distributors. And at that time, there was 2 circles of distribution. There was the majors and the independents. Independents no longer exist. Nothing secondary exists anymore. You had 2 different sets of radio stations. You had 2 different sets of distributors, and all that shit is gone now. All of it's gone. So, but nonetheless, we had the hits. And everybody knew we made hits, and hip hop was still so very new, especially on the West Coast. You had to buy the record just to make sure just to make sure it was a flop, and that's what the key to make Makoto's success, and the key to his demise because McCullough would put out any goddamn thing. McCullough would put a microphone up a frog's ass and watch that motherfucker ribbit and then try and sell that shit. Okay? He put a microphone here, ribbit. Okay, put a beat to that motherfucker and try to sell that shit. All of a sudden, and the record business is 100% returnable. So that frog shit don't sell, it come right back to you. And that's what put you out of business. That's what hurt Master P. Master P was putting out records like nobody's business. Had all the shelf space in Best Buys and all the stores, but at some point in time, those stores start selling space for those records, and now you owe money. You're renting space whether you sell records or not. That was the demise of a lot of independents when they changed the retail structure of how they took in records. Because a lot of your stores, especially Best Buys and Walmart was one of the biggest distributors of music in the country, bigger than a lot of chains, because they got stores everywhere, big ones. But so many people were putting out records that wasn't selling, and then people they need space for records that do sell. So the store was losing because you didn't gave a guy just 4 or 5 weeks of space. This shit ain't selling, so they started putting a tax, some kind of little tax on shelf space for the independent. So even if you didn't sell it, nigga, you owe me some money for putting you on the shelf. And that's why you don't see Low Limit like you do no more.
Damn, just broke it down, Lonzo. I would love to continue this conversation, but we do have to end a little bit early. Before we head out, I'm going to ask everybody to hit that like button if you have not already. Please hit that subscribe button if you are joining the channel for the first time and you like what you hear. I see a lot of new names, so welcome you to the channel. Hope you enjoy the content. Go check out some of the older content too. Lonzo has interviews with some of the who's who of West Coast hip hop. Just go down the archives and just check out, pop in, a video every once in a while. Make sure you check out his documentary Eve After Dark on Hulu and Tubi and Prime. I can never get that right.
Prime and my channel, CEC, Compton Entertainment.
Actually, go there first. Download the Compton Entertainment Channel app, the Compton Entertainment Channel app, and watch it there. You know what I'm saying? We need that support there. So please do that. It's a simple download. Do it to your phone. You can literally watch it, cast it to your TV, whatever the case is. Any last words before we head out, Lonzo?
Nah, man, just support J. Cole and trying to bring some sense to hip hop, dude. I'm getting tired of seeing people just rake this dude over the coals because he don't want to. That ain't what he want to do. Stop making a man be a punk because he got a heart. He got some brains. It don't take an idiot. It don't take shit to be a goddamn dead hero. Hip hop need to grow up. All right, folks.
That's it. Hit him with that ending, Lonzo.
All right, folks. For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre into surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer until he got cold. On the Eve After Dark, 50-yard line Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe it Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo. We out of here, y'all. Peace.